couldn't stop thinking about what just transpired in Israel. One of my friends who I was planning on getting coffee with, actually, he was actually killed at the Nova Festival. So I had like every reason to not really be thinking about basketball and fitness, and my heart and soul was just so stuck on what just happened. And I was like, you know, I didn't serve in the army when I made Aliyah. The army never called me to serve. So I have had a lot of survivor's guilt, especially when I first moved to Israel. My friends go into Gaza, my friends go into Lebanon, and I'm just like sitting in my apartment. So I felt like I was called to contribute to the conversation the best way that I could.
You were there?
I was there. I was in Israel on the 7th of October. I live in Tel Aviv. So, you know, the story's been told many, many times of what that morning was like. So there's really no need to go into it. But basically, I don't have any family in Israel. So I felt pretty unsafe.
Yeah.
On the 10th of October, I found one of the last flights out of Israel. And we were delayed, by the way, on the runway because of rocket fire and everything. It was insane. So I flew back to the States, and I like couldn't stop thinking about what just transpired in Israel. One of my friends who I was planning on getting coffee with, actually, he was actually killed at the Nova Festival. So I had like every reason to not really be thinking about basketball and fitness, and my heart and soul was just so stuck on what just happened. And I was like, you know, I didn't serve in the army when I made Aliyah. The army never called me to serve. So I have had a lot of survivor's guilt, especially when I first moved to Israel. My friends go into Gaza, my friends go into Lebanon, and I'm just like sitting in my apartment. So I felt like I was called to contribute to the conversation the best way that I could, wearing this invisible army uniform, being a basketball coach whose, by the way, best friends are all non-Jews, all African-American. My best friends their families come from Haiti, Nigeria, and Jamaica. Like, I've grown up. Also, those 2 years when we lived in Israel, I grew up like with Arab Bedouin children building the medical facilities in the desert because they had dirty drinking water.
Yeah.
And a lot of this stuff came from my parents, who are rabbis. So like, I've always been built to be around different groups of people and embracing diversity. Like, that's like kind of who I am. And I was like, what a perfect person to be to talk about this conflict and not really get into the politics of it, but more storytelling. That's what got me into changing my content on YouTube quickly to talking about Israel. One thing led to the next. My 4th video went pretty viral relative to the size of my channel. And as you know, once one thing works, you just do it again and again and again and again. And
because it's a needed voice in the void. That isn't so political, and it's more
human.
It's more human.
Yeah. And that's why I love this concept of basketball being like at the forefront of who I am, and also how I deploy a lot of the conversations that I try to carry. I also kind of use it practically when I'm going around speaking and trying to bring in non-Jewish communities to learn about Israel. So I use basketball and training athletes as a way to create a safe space. They see me as a coach, not like Barak, this Israeli. Right. And once they see you, it's psychology. Once somebody feels safe with you, and once you've created a safe space to talk about something so polarizing, you can go into maybe some of the semantics and some of the more heavy stuff. But the fact that I don't come from like a deep geopolitical background, at first I thought was a huge liability. Now that I've gained a lot of that knowledge myself, it's actually been incredibly powerful, because one, I didn't serve in the army, and a lot of people are willing to talk to me since I didn't serve in the army, which is crazy. Yeah. You're right. You weren't in the IOF, the Israeli Occupation Forces. You weren't an IOF officer sniping children. So one, that allows me some conversation. And two, I'm just a coach. And like, basketball is culture. It's music, it's art, it's food, it's travel. It's just a pillar of culture. And I think
it's a team sport too.
It's a team sport.
And speaking in generalities, that group that plays basketball, I'll be very careful how I say this. They don't seem to be the most Jew-friendly bunch, shall we say. So do you find it's an easy conversation to get into once that trust is there, or is it something you have to kind of walk on eggshells?
That's such a good question.
Yeah, it is.
It's such a good question. I'll tell you.
Isn't he smart, my son?
Thank you.
Fucking, I mean, makes sense,
He
right?
weighed 10 pounds at birth.
Yeah.
I thought he'd always be troublesome. But he's great.
Thank you.
Are you into numerology at all?
Hello?
I didn't know how much. I was born on May 8th, 8 pounds, 8 ounces.
Wow.
Just letting you know. Eight is a number 13, that may resurface during this conversation.
Well,
I don't
8's
know.
a good number.
8's a very good number. It's also, obviously, as we all know, the infinity sign on its side.
Absolutely.
And I'll show you guys something on the side later.
Okay.
But I love that question.
Yeah.
So, first of all,
Blacks hate Jews. Let's just be
That's
real.
what I'm asking.
That's what he means.
Well, I mean, they're probably open to having their mind changed, but it's not like that's an influence they get a
A lot
lot.
of Christian black people likes the Jews.
I was just in.
Christians.
Oh yeah. Oh my. I mean,
They love
tremendously.
us,
I was
yeah.
just in South Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, they love the Jews.
Incredible amount
That's
of
where I'm
support.
going if all this shit hits the fan.
South Africa.
Hell yeah, there's a lot of Jews going there.
Yeah,
My
they love white
grandpa
people
went there when he escaped the Tsar.
Johannesburg. And
He loved it.
really,
Yeah,
I have a lot of friends now in Tel Aviv who've left.
they
And
go
they're-
there.
It's probably good for them to see an actual apartheid state instead of being accused of it all the time.
Well, it's not apartheid no more.
I know, but please
Yeah.
continue.
Oh, I'm
so
sorry.
You're
No, no,
talking,
no.
You're talking to the brothers. How's that go?
No, this is good. I love this. Look, first of all, anything revolving, I call it the I word. Israel's become the I word now. People
Yeah.
cringe.
Yeah.
Anything around that word immediately kind of creates a little bit of hostility. I'll be honest with you. And I
Yeah,
see
no.
it and I feel it. We all know that.
We read our comment section.
You
We
read your
know.
comments.
Yeah.
I as human as I can try to be,
Yeah.
you still get the I label.
Yeah.
However,
Or the Z label.
or the Z,
Or the K.
what are the letters we got?
All of them.
all 26, right.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an example of a clinic I did in Hamilton, Canada, which is 45 minutes outside of Toronto. I think you guys will find this interesting.
Okay.
So I told you before that I think my best way to do the advocacy for non-Jewish communities, especially ones that are maybe coming from multicultural, multi-ethnic backgrounds, is to use basketball as that door to open it up so I don't experience what you're asking.
Yeah.
Now, because I come from the strength and conditioning background, I asked a Hebrew academy in Hamilton to bring in a basketball team from the area, non-Jews, and have never met an Israeli before. And they brought in this basketball team. It's like 10 to 12 players called Liberty for Youth, all in their 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. All of them have been arrested before. Police brutality, gun violence, getting in trouble at school, all of them. And this basketball team in Hamilton, and they actually might be from Toronto, it doesn't matter, it's the area, takes them off the street, brings them into basketball
That's
programming
awesome.
to teach them about camaraderie and discipline and teamwork and community.
Yeah.
And you
And
see
focus.
and focus.
Yeah.
And weaving and passing by and all that. So
And being Jewish, that's what it is.
being the light.
Basketball is being Jewish.
I love that. I love that.
I'll have to think about that one.
We brought them in,
yeah.
and 50 religious Jewish day students who have now been in the gym with these 10 to 12 athletes who have never met a Jew and definitely never met an Israeli. And I brought them in, and I made all of the players on Liberty for Youth be the team captains as I split them up into 10 teams and have all of the Hebrew Academy students be on their team. So first, I just made it very equal playing field here. And I trained them for 45 minutes, put them through like workouts that I would do with Denny and Amari and Omri. And I'm giving them like a little bit of like what an NBA warm up is like, giving them fun and giving them Coach Barak. And then after that, I sat down with them at the half court line in a big circle, and I sit with them on the court like I'm sitting with you now. And I talk to them about Israel. Like I talk to them about my life. I talk to them about what the situation is. And I actually bring with me, which I have here, I'll show you guys later, I bring with me some proof and evidence of like what this existential threat is that Israel's under. Yeah. The coach of the basketball team and the players came up to me after I spoke to them, and they were like, as a result of your visit today, you have completely changed our perspective on the Middle East and what Israel's going through.
Isn't that great? What some truth will do.
Yeah, truth is pretty awesome.
And it's so fucking hard to get to what I just got to with you.
Yeah.
Because I had to obviously go through loopholes of trying to get the teams and finding it. But that's Barak on like a really small scale. On YouTube.
But that is the power of sports. Mm-hmm. The power of good, being a good, what do you call it? A good sport.
Good sport. And, they didn't look at me as like this Israeli coming to talk to us about, Gaza.
Yeah.
Because if you lead with that, that's where things, to the second part to your question, I find most of it really hard.
Yeah. I would imagine.
And the reason I think that, and that's me being honest with both of you, and honestly, I'd be lying to the listeners and you if I said differently, and that's because we haven't cracked the code yet on how to find a way to do this where it's not that.
Right.
I think the code is to bypass all the political propaganda, and I think you did it right. Let's just be human and play this game. Just be human. But, they don't like to think of the Jews as human. But anyway, how was the game?
That's right.
How did the game go?
They had so much fun, and they were competing, and like I have a lot of energy, So like I have to show them too what the expectations are. So I'm clapping and I'm cheering and it's just like, and that wasn't my expectation. Isn't like, okay, when are these guys going to come over and tell me that Barak changed their mind about Israel? Because I actually think that what I accomplished that day is not the norm. You can't expect to in 90 minutes to change somebody's opinion on something.
Yeah.
Like this is a slow cooked process, especially for somebody who's been watching, TikTok videos of girls under buildings for 12 months, like in limbs.
You have to brainwash, crack them, or whatever that word is.
Undo it.
Yeah.
Deprogram.
You have to deprogram it before you
And
talk
that doesn't
to them.
happen in 90 minutes.
No, it doesn't usually happen ever.
And what makes it worse is seeing all these blowhards. I mean, these blowhard people going on Piers more. Well, I shouldn't say that. But, you know.
You can.
I mean, a lot of the Jewish side are just nothing but blowhards.
Yeah.
I just want to get up there and start slapping the shit out of them. Go, that, of course, people can't understand what you're saying. And 1920, who gives a shit?
No one cares.
Just make it human.
You know who needs to go on Piers Morgan? Tall. And you know why Tall needs to go on Piers Morgan?
I try so hard to get him on there.
He won't,
But they don't want any brown Jews on there because that blows their narrative apart.
It blows it up.
They only want a certain kind of Jew to speak, the one that's despicable and says. And then in 1946, the Congress of they just
they don't care.
Stuff that you can't feel.
Tall's also great too. If you watch his
love
videos,
Tall.
he always comes from love, and even when he's arguing with like a Nazi online, like he holds his ground, and I've seen him turn quite a few like Nazis.
Well,
in
you
short
can't
videos.
do that academic horse shit.
He doesn't.
People
Well,
don't give a damn.
He knows his information, so he can cite it.
Well, because he's lived it. His family lived it.
That's exactly why he needs to go on. He's not. His grandmother got kicked out of Iraq during the Farhud. And
We've had him on here.
Yeah,
More
no, I know
Jews
that.
were
No, so
kicked out of Arab countries than Arabs were kicked out of Israel.
Israel,
But they won't let that be said.
No, they won't.